A few different abortion bans are in flux right now, but a majority of them in these red states are going to stay. A judge in Ohio temporarily blocked the state's abortion ban, but that will probably get appealed and it will get implemented most likely. In West Virginia, on Tuesday, the bill was implemented and the state's only abortion facility had to stop the procedure right away, and that caused chaos in terms of future appointments. And I'm sure there were a lot of people who could get pregnant who were trying to get in at the end of the wire, right before the wire, I should say, and that caused chaos. And Indiana's ban goes into effect today. But Republicans on the federal level are terrified of this issue galvanizing voters in the fall, because for the first few months of this year, they were riding high on Biden declining approval ratings, an inability to pass a major bill through reconciliation, which was eventually whittled down into the Inflation Reduction Act, which still does help combat climate change. So once that passed, plus Biden's student debt relief, plus inflation going down, Biden's approval rating has shot up from something in the mid to low 30s in July to now he's in the mid 40s, which is a significant increase. And so they don't want the issues that made him, and abortion in particular, that brought him back into, like, the Democrats at the very least, back into a more favorable position to percolate and to remain on the voters' minds. And so that's why the introduction of a federal abortion ban by Lindsey Graham that would cap it at 15 weeks, and then there would be some sort of legal panel, and you would have to involve a lawyer if, say, your fetus did not have a skull, say your fetus had health problems, say the life of the mother was endangered. You'd have to involve the law from a federal level in order to get an abortion, which is just not how healthcare works. And so Lindsey Graham has reminded everybody that, hey, actually Republicans have been lying to you the entire time on abortion. They lied to you in the confirmation hearings of Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett when those Supreme Court justices said Roe is settled law and we're not going to touch it. And the Republican senators who sat in front of those judicial nominees, as they answered those questions, knew they were lying about it too. You have to lie to get what you want. You have to lie and hide the ball because abortion is so popular and abortion rights are so popular in this country. Maybe not abortion in and of itself, but women having the choice to do what they want with their own health decisions is popular in this country. And the stripping of that is so unpopular that you have to make sure you lie and hide your religious extremism right up until the point when you strike. And that's what happened with Roe and the multi-decade buildup to that. They finally got what they wanted. And now they've caught the car, as Sam would say, and Lindsey Graham is blowing it all up as things were starting to at least fade a bit into the background for Republicans and saying, actually, we were lying to you on another level. We said the whole time that this was states' rights, but I'm going to preemptively tell the truth and tell you that we want a federal ban as well. And that's the problem that Republicans have with what Lindsey Graham has done here. It's not that the substance of the legislation is not what they're upset about. It's the timing. And here's Jesse Waters basically saying that to Lindsey Graham's face.
China and North Korea are two of the seven.
We all agree on that.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit on the sidelines and let America become that kind of nation.
No one's saying you need to sit on the sidelines, but yesterday wasn't the day to do that. Yesterday was the day they lost all momentum when this inflation thing punched them right in the face, and you gave them an out. A lot of people don't like that. You could have done it on any other day, just like you could have delayed the whole press conference, like Joe should have delayed that stupid party.
So I take issue. I don't think there's a bad day to stand up for the unborn. What am I trying to say? That America needs to have a policy that makes us a civilized nation. It would bother me that if a baby's aborted at 38 weeks in California, New York, what am I proposing for our country? That at 15 weeks, when the baby can feel pain, you provide anesthesia to save its life. If you operate on it, it should be protected from being dismembered by an abortionist. That puts us in line with France, Germany, Great Britain. They all have abortion bans below 15
I
weeks.
understand.
So,
and the people are with you on that. No, you're right.
I'm not going to apologize.
You're right. No.
Ever apologize about standing up for the unborn. And you know what? We need to go on the offensive here.
It's not what's in your heart. Americans agree with that. They're against abortion after the first trimester. But there, you got to talk tactics, Senator. It's terrible timing, terrible tactics. We could have shoved this down their throat on the day the Americans got hammered with this inflation number and the market crashing. And now all the media and the Democrats are talking about federal abortion ban, federal abortion ban. You know that's not smart politics, right?
Again, there's one, they're lying about the nature of the popularity of Lindsey Graham's bill. Like, yes.
Well, they all have to lie about that. Like, if you acknowledged how the reality of popular and polling about abortion here, like, they should all just hang it up.
But that's why I wonder why they even go there. But they split the baby by saying that most Americans are not in favor of abortions after 15 weeks. When if a pollster is asking that question, they're not giving the context that 90% of abortions in this country happen before the 15-week period.
And like, if you further ask, like, do you think that, like, say, Republican politicians should be in that chain of decision making? I bet you that they would say no. I think that should be up to the doctors and the women. That's
borne out, and they also, people understand implicitly, given the fact that Republicans have lied up until the point where they've overturned women's health care rights, that they will lie again. Lindsey Graham understands that this abortion restriction / ban is not going to pass because the Democrats have the House and there's a Democratic president right now who could just veto it. He's floating this as a trial balloon for a full ban on abortion. And he also just wanted to center himself and miscalculated. That's the thing. Lindsey Graham is just like constantly in a state of desperation to be taken seriously by Republican leadership. And you can see the pain in his face through that smile because Mitch McConnell is pissed off right now at Lindsey Graham. And Jesse Waters just told him what every other person in Republican leadership has been saying behind the scenes. Like, don't be so clear about our agenda. It's the same thing with Rick Scott.
Strategic ambiguity.
Stop telling people in the text of your tax policy as you like try to run for higher office that you want to cut taxes for the wealthy and increase them on the poor and middle class. Don't just like say that outright. We've got to have Frank Luntz poll tested first, right? It's not global warming, it's climate change. It's not the estate tax, it's the death tax. We need to find a way to actually lie before we implement our policies. That's Republicans. That's Republican 101. And Lindsey Graham just went out and said it. And he really gave these Democrats running in some of these more competitive races an excellent point in their case against other Republicans. Whenever they say states' rights, you just point to Lindsey Graham. Whenever they say this is a states' rights issue, how about the senator from South Carolina who's trying to ban it after 15 weeks and says, hey, we'll debate the amendments about who's going to make the determination about the post 15-week pregnancy or abortion decision. But I mean, hey, and we said it on the show yesterday, have those debates. I want to hear what Tommy Tuberville thinks about who should be making the decision post 15 weeks. Like, what creative thoughts they just have in their mind about who should be making that choice. Because as I say, it's unpopular. Thank you, Lindsey Graham, for that. And Waters knows it too.
You don't want to be specific about this. This is how Trump won in 2016 by saying everything on all sorts of issues. Like there should be some sort of punishment instead about abortion, but also like I think backtracked about that, and then people didn't trust him because he probably paid for abortions and stuff like that. Oh crap! I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I just want to remind folks that he also won by running as a moderate, and so like this. Trump
He also said, "I'm going to give everybody health care."
Yeah, exactly. He was like, "We can't let people die in the streets." And Harry Enton, the like sort of Nate Silver adjacent guy, said that Trump was seen as the most moderate GOP candidate since 1972.
Yeah, I mean, and because he wasn't explicitly religiously fundamentalist, and that
he just told people what they wanted to hear on different through different media. Because
like the religious fundamentalism element is unpopular, yet people don't like that. People didn't like that. Mitt Romney doesn't drink coffee and only drinks milk or something like that. Like he won't have a glass of wine and he won't even drink coffee. I mean, but my point is just the people don't want theocracy outside of the Republican base. And so you have to walk a tightrope of appealing to those people. And what that was for decades was hiding the fact that they wanted to ban abortion on the federal level. And they're still trying to do that with the states' rights argument until you have someone like Lindsey Graham just saying it. And so, hey, thank you, Lindsey Graham. Back in the public consciousness. Much appreciated, and I hope he sticks to his guns on this. Let's have debates on the floor of the Senate about abortion bans. Let's do it. I want to hear from every one of the Republican senators about what their thoughts are.